Going to start off with telling you about my journey on discovering the hidden treasure, which I call the world's greatest hidden treasure. And the reason why I say that is because when you go to Proverbs chapter 3, and I know you're not an avid Bible reader, whatever, but
I get the Bible right here.
you ready to go? Okay, cool. So Proverbs chapter 3, when you read it in verse 15, it says, "She's more precious than rubies. And out of all things you may desire in this life, there's nothing to be compared unto wisdom." All right, Proverbs 8 and 11 will tell you that as well. She is more precious than rubies, and out of all things you may desire, there is nothing to be compared to wisdom. So a nice amount of us in this world, we're looking for houses, we're looking for riches, we're looking for mates, we're looking for partners, we're looking for, business enterprises. We're looking for all these things that have to deal with material gain or fleshly pleasures, right? But wisdom gives us the know-how on how to go about obtaining all these things. Wisdom gives us the know-how on how to respect our elders. Wisdom gives us the know-how on how to control our tongue, control our anger, and all different other type of things. So when I discovered this years ago, I said, I'm going to go on a journey for the rest of my life to seek and search out wisdom. It's a never-ending process. So I can get wisdom. I get it from the 4 main wisdom books, absolutely. But I get it from my elders. I get it from my mothers. I get it from individuals. I can get it from a child. I can get it from whoever I can gain a valuable lesson from, and I can add it to my life, and it can help me be a better person. I'm all for that. So that needs to be for other people, because I was just hoarding it up for myself. And then when I put it out for other people, and I started to see the response that was taking place in the first book, and oftentimes I have to get reminded to stop downplaying this first book. You see how thin it is, because I put so much into this book, the second one, that I sometimes downgrade the first one, right? And but it was that first one that kind of catapulted things for people to even get to this second one, and the journey. The 12 fundamental laws, it was just 12 basic things, and which were very powerful, and I don't want to downgrade them. But when I talk about the world's greatest hidden treasure, this is what I want to go across the whole world being able to share with people. Because when you talk about, even when we talk about this movement right here, which I'm elated, I'm excited that I will even get an opportunity to speak on a panel with these men that's going to be at this event. But when we talk about, marching, we talk about protesting, we talk about changing, we talk about all these things, they're great, right? But if we had wisdom applied with those things, if we were operating in wisdom, we will be able to see a change. It's guaranteed. And for those that read the book and you've been able to go from chapter 1, and there's a reason why the first part of the book started off a little dry. Because it was introducing people to what wisdom is. It was letting them know how to obtain her. It was letting them know these different things, what wisdom is. So when we got to probably chapter 5, it kind of takes off from there, but the first few chapters are introductory. So the first chapter I want to talk about in this book, The World's Greatest Hidden Treasure, is the hidden treasure itself. The hidden treasure. So when we talk about a hidden treasure, something that is very valuable. You can grab the book right there if you want to. And I know, of course, I'm doing an overview of it. At any time someone has a comment or a question, throw your finger up, and I want to make sure I point you out. All right. So the hidden treasure. Now, we had a situation back in the 1800s. Everybody here is familiar with the gold rush, right? Mm-hmm. All right. They taught it to us in the public school, we want to call it public school system, public food system, whatever you want to call it. Whatever the school system, whatever you want to call it, right? We heard about the gold rush. The gold rush, individuals sold their personal homes, their properties, and did whatever they could to go out to where? California, right? Where my man just came from, right? They was going to Cali to get gold, right? And they were doing whatever they can because they heard this buzz. This buzz was taking place across the country. Get to California, you're going to become wealthy. So I try to connect that same parallel to wisdom and to the fact that I, in my journey of going through life, bumping my head so many times, making so many mistakes, making so many of the wrong decisions, that I found a treasure that is just as valuable or even more valuable than the Gold Rush experience. And that's what I'm trying to educate my people on today. Because when they get a hold of this hidden treasure, it will change their life. It will change their marriage. It will change their finances. It will change their communication skills. It's going to change how people are respected in the city. My brother, I was talking to my brother last night. He was telling me, my brother Obadiah was telling me how he saw a difference in me 6 years ago. And how I used to, I'm talking about Glenda, I was straight down the middle. Like, I would tell you how I felt, and I didn't care how you felt about it.
Are you arrogant?
I don't want to say arrogant, it's just not thoughtful. Because how you hear a person, they say they speak out the side of their neck.
Instead of other people.
I was, I was abrasive. Let me just say abrasive. I'm still working on, it's a lifelong process, right? But people like that, people that's closest to me, they've been able to see a change. And that's what I want to be able to help evoke into the lives of people around the world. Not taking away from the person I was 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago. I still was very passionate about what I did. But the way that I went about it, the way that I'm trying to reach people now, I was focused on just one demographic or one group of people. Now I'm focusing on a larger scale because it ain't just my people. It's not just my people that need this. The whole world needs it. Everyone needs it. All right. So when I found the hidden treasure, when you go to the wisdom books, and this information I'm sharing, this book is based off of the 4 main wisdom books. If you have not heard of them, they are in the King James Bible and the King James Apocrypha. They are known as Ecclesiastes, Proverbs, Wisdom of Solomon, and Ecclesiasticus. All right, these are what I call the Torah.
Can you spell the other book?
Ecclesiasticus.
When I was at the books. I did go to the book study shop. He didn't think I was going. Spell that book for me. So I can
Ecclesiasticus. It's E. Oh, you're gonna order it from this book right here. It's called the Apocrypha.
It's called A-P.
O-C-R-Y-P-H-A.
Okay.
Apocrypha. All right, so in the original 1611 King James Bible, it wasn't 66 books. It was 80 books. All right. 14 of those books were remitted. They were taken out. They were deemed by the Catholic Church as not being inspired. All right. 2 out of those 14 books were wisdom books. Were called Wisdom of Solomon and Ecclesiasticus. Why they took them out beats me to this day. They say it wasn't inspired, right? But I've seen the most inspiration in Ecclesiasticus. That it is my favorite book out of any book written by mankind. Wow. Even Proverbs. People, they bask on the wisdom that Proverbs has to offer. And I call Ecclesiasticus Proverbs on steroids. Because when you literally read the pages of Ecclesiasticus, it's like fire that's kindling in your body when you read it. And for those of us in here that read that book in the Apocrypha, you can understand what I'm talking about. So the hidden treasure is, let me ask you today, if you knew that a treasure was out 5 blocks from here, you wouldn't be in here listening to me, I guarantee you. Y'all would be all out there digging in the ground, right? Yeah. Trying to find that gold, that hidden treasure. Because you knew that if you found it and you cast it in, your life would be forever different after that point. But I'm here to tell you today that your life will not be the same moving forward once you read the information in this book and once you start to apply it on your everyday life. Now, some people like to say, well, listen, I'm not really into no religion. I don't really want to get into all that Bible type of stuff. But what I like to tell them is that, okay, that's understandable. But these wisdom commandments and these laws, I would prefer that you do believe in the Bible. I would prefer that you do believe in the Most High. But even if you don't, there are these laws. They gonna work for you whether you believe in them or not. And that's why out in the world they call them universal laws, right? But the laws of wisdom, they transcend. They work. Some of these people are doing the things in this book and don't even know they're doing them. I'm just trying to raise the awareness that if you concentrate on doing them, you're going to have length of days, long life, and peace. You're going to have innumerable riches. You're going to have long-lasting friendships. You're going to be more respected in your community. if you apply these things on a daily basis. So the hidden treasure, if anyone has anything they want to say about the hidden treasure, I know you got a breakdown of the whole book, but I want to go chapter by chapter so we can stay on that topic of that chapter.
Okay.
Hidden treasure. Anyone has anything about the hidden treasure that you want to share?
Well, I went chapter by chapter, so
Okay.
I can comment as you go.
Okay. Well, chapter 1. I'm on chapter 1 right now of the hidden treasure.
I got deep in the latter chapters.
Okay. So if you got any notes, because it's a note section at the end of every chapter.
Smart. That was so smart. I like that format because
Okay.
we always writing like Shaw. He's an annotator, but I have a tablet. It's just book discussion, and it's all the notes from all the books I've read.
The notes, and even that right there, the notes section is where you can gain wisdom at. Look, how many of us in our lives we go through the deeds of every day, and we sit down for 15, 20 minutes and calculate the deeds of that day? How many people in this room? No hands up at all. Because one person, right?
Can I tell you about my deed today?
Well, we got to wait to the end of the day. Because it happens at the end of the day to where you recall the deeds that happened from the morning all the way to the night. And the thing about it is, a lot of us, how many people have heard of people that got into a relationship, a toxic relationship, they got out of it with someone and then jumped right into another toxic relationship with someone else? How many people here know about somebody like that? Everybody.
I would say that's probably 90% of the people.
90% of the people.
Probably more, probably 100%. But one thing going back, and I'll be quick about this right here.
Okay.
The California Gold Rush, people went because they believe. People go to churches, people involved in religion because they believe. People follow the occult or the occultists or an occult because they believe. If I know now, if I know they're shredded down there, I'm going to be the first there. If I know it, if I believe it, I'm not going. If I believe it, I'm not going.
Okay.
I'm not going off belief. But the California Gold Rush was based on belief.
Okay.
Not knowledge.
Okay.
But belief is what it was based on. And in the end, belief can turn you upside down. So I'll let it go with that.
Okay, yeah. So belief, there is a difference in believing and knowing. We will say that. Knowing is the highest level. If you when you talk about levels of faith anyway.
Faith. I was gonna say knowing is fact.
Okay.
This is your husband right here, right? Is that your husband?
Let me finish.
That, right?
Hey. This time today. I can't let you steal the show today. All right.
Okay.
All right. So knowing that if you understood what I was about to say before you went on, is that when a person can say that I trust, I'm talking about different levels of faith now. I'm not talking about what you're saying about the knowing part. I'm talking about on a different level of believing or trusting. You got a ground level entry of, you ever heard of somebody say that, I hope that this happened for me. Yep. Anybody heard that before? I hope it happens. Well, hoping that don't sound too strong, do it? I don't hope. I hope. But then you got but outside, then on the next level of that, you got I believe. And the belief is where, I believe that if I go to California, it's gold there for me. Right. I believe that if I open this wisdom book up, my life is going to change moving forward. A belief sparks things. Some people, they don't like to believe in or have a trust in things that they can't see or that they can't feel. All right. So therefore, if I can't see it, if I can't touch it, then I'm not dealing with it. But we have to understand that there are things that take place. We can't see everything that we're dealing with in this everyday life. So if you just held by the fact of I don't see it, I don't believe it. We got business owners in here. How many people in here run their own business? We got a couple people, right? For those in here that run their own operation, did you have to believe in yourself when you started the LLC?
Yes. Before
you had a single client, before a single customer, before a single sponsor? You had to believe in the dream. So you couldn't actually physically see the customers. You saw them mentally, you saw them in a different dimension, and then you put your actions with it, and then the doors start opening up. So those people that went to California for the gold rush, people got wealthy over there. It's recorded in history that people changed their lives over there. So what I'm trying to say is I want to bring it back home so I don't get too off of my subject. if a person has a anticipation on, if they read this book and they see this title and they say that I'm going to discover some hidden treasure, they're going to discover it. And I guarantee you their life's going to be changed. And going back to this real quickly, because I don't want to leave my thought and leave it right there. I talked about hoping. I talked about believing. I talked about trusting. I trust that he's going to make a way. And I talked about knowing. That knowing is what is I know. This is 100% fact. This is what it is. You know what I mean? It's no waiver. So the hidden treasure. Some people, they look at their spouse as a hidden treasure. Some people will travel miles and miles away, hundreds of miles, to go and marry a woman. Some people will go hundreds of miles to marry a woman. They will go across sea and land. We got that in historical documents. That people will go rob and he said, we got one right here. Came from Philadelphia, huh? You know what I mean? We got multiple people that came to the city because they wife was either from here or they was living here at this moment, right?
I followed the man here.
You followed the man here, so this is different on your situation. So okay, that man must have been holding it down, right?
I wanted to get away from home, leave home, because in Arizona there was no culture, and he was my ticket. It wasn't even caught up in him because I came here to go to college, but
Okay.
he was like my go-to person.
Okay.
When I came, we broke up shortly after I got here, but I got a full ride to college, so I became a teacher. But when I left home and came here, I was finding myself.
That's good. That's good because sometimes you do need some person to help
He won't work the court anymore.
bring about a mind shift, you know. And then once you get to the place, because there are people that came here to this city because of someone, and then they did break up and they stayed here.
Yeah.
And they continued on their life, and they say, "Oh man, I kind of like this city. This city is all right." You know what I mean? So
I just like the cost of living.
cost of living is good too. So the hidden treasure, you know, once you find a hidden treasure or something that's of a great value, you're gonna cherish it, you're gonna hold to it, and that's the thing that I feel about wisdom. All right, of course, you have individuals in here that have age on me and they have 10, 20, 30 years, my senior or my elder, whatever the case may be. But what I've come to find out is that there is nothing more important in this life than wisdom. And I